Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Friday. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by Boston Scientific and streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. And of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! It's Friday night. Man, I'm feeling good. It's Friday. I got a job. I'm talking Cowboys with the Bomb Squad. Good show lined up today. We are diving into some cap casualties. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about the Cowboys cap casualties, but I wanted to spin this a little bit. I want to talk about a couple of potential cap casualties outside of Dallas that the Cowboys should look into if they're cut. That will help the team next year. I'm telling you, Cowboys Nation, these two players that I'm going to bring up, I'm really, really interested to hear what you guys have to say and how you feel about them. So give me a call if you want to call into the show. If you want to, drop it in the chat, I'll take a look at it in the chat. 351-999-3787. And then before all of that, in the roundup, the smoke is getting heavier. The Ezekiel Elliott smoke is getting heavier. There's a fire brewing over there somewhere, and we'll talk about the latest that's come out from Zeke's camp, Cowboys camp, whoever the hell is dropping this information. But it's coming to a head. The Cowboys have to make a decision, and his reps also have to make a decision. So we will get into all of that. Should be a good, smooth, I don't want to say fast show, but a hard-hitting show today. I won't try to keep y'all too long on this beautiful Friday morning. Plus, we got some coaching news that we'll tap into as well. Good morning, Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad!
You know, Professor O, there might be something to this Rowdy thing. There just might be. That and the Jimmy Johnson not in the Ring of Honor, there got to be something to it. We got to figure that out, man. We got to figure that out. But, look, I'm just going to jump right into it, Cowboys Nation. I'm excited to talk about today's show. So if y'all don't mind, let's boogie.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Hey, yo. Man, the Cowboys are really trying to round out this coaching roster here over the next couple days. And they hired two guys that we should be very familiar with from a player standpoint. This is interesting. First off, let's start with Sharif Floyd. Both of these guys are hired as defensive quality control coaches who will be working with different groups of the team. Sharif Floyd, if you guys remember, he will go down in Cowboys infamy as the guy that Rod Marinelli said no to. I wasn't one of the guys that were all upset, but I thought it was funny how Cowboys Nation was sick that they didn't select Sharif Floyd, and because they looked at him as a guy who was a top 15 guy that they turned away from. Well, they traded down, eventually took a Travis Frederick. Again, another guy I was happy to take, but a lot of the nation hated it, but that worked out very well. But Sharif Floyd played in the league, played some good years. I didn't realize he left the league as long ago as he did. 2017, I think, is the last time he played. And now he is a coach. Apparently, he was working a little bit with the Cowboys last year, and he's going to be the new assistant defensive line coach and defensive quality control coach. That position was recently held by Leon Lett for about 12 years, I think. So, I don't know, man. There's something about, and it's just coaching. Again, this isn't going to be sexy to talk about, but there's something about allowing the staff to kind of come into form, whether it be DQ staff or McCarthy staff, just allowing them to do their thing. Listen, Leon Lett was held over because of Jerry ties. Let's just be real, right? He's been here for 12 years, multiple different coaching eras have come through under Leon Lett. Now they're kind of letting some of these new guys get some different chance to exceed, right? Like they want these guys to eventually be defensive line coaches or whatever, defensive coordinators, whatever, but you got to start somewhere. And Floyd's going to get his shot as a defensive quality control coach. The other one is a little closer to me here, Darian Thompson. And I know a lot of y'all are like, Darian Thompson? What are you talking about? Darian Thompson, DT, was hated here because, and listen, I get it, right? Like Darian Thompson was the guy that kept taking reps away from Donovan Wilson. And finally, when they gave Donovan Wilson a chance, Donovan Wilson shined. And that was the last of Darian Thompson. He came back the next year, I think, as a special teams guy, but that was about it. He's going to be hired as a defense quality control coach working with the linebackers. Both of these guys are fairly young, in their early 30s. So they'll be able to help out the young guys that they've drafted, and they will continue to draft. So that'll be interesting because they can relate to these guys and whatnot. And usually guys who are not Hall of Famers, right, and have to work differently, they tend to be solid coaches because they have to pay attention. And I hate to say pay attention a little bit more, but there's those guys who are souped up, uber athletic, just great, that they don't have to do all of the extra little things that make some of these other coaches really good coaches. Let's just be honest. So let's see if Floyd and Darian Thompson can help out these young guys and help out Dan Quinn and Aiden Durde and Al Harris and all the other experienced coaches on this roster. These aren't guys that are going to move the needle, But it's good to see, these coaching trees continue to get built. Excited for these young guys.
Super chat.
I mean, I really didn't mean to press that super chat button, but moving forward. Zeke's agents, reps, whatever you want to call it, per Adam Schefter, are going to figure out his value at the combine and decide what it's worth. We've had this conversation a number of times already in the offseason. We pretty much dedicated an entire show. Y'all know how I feel about this situation. But I just got this sneaky suspicion that he'll be back. That he'll be back on a pay cut, but probably not the pay cut that you're thinking. Probably not the pay cut that you're thinking. Look, man. There's no doubt that the Cowboys can literally wipe the slate clean at running back, and I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. I'd much rather them put these resources in the O-line and the scheme. However, if you're going to have to pick between the two, if they end up picking 21 over 20, that's a major red flag. A major red flag. But the reason why I have this sneaky suspicion that he will return is because Jerry Jones loves Ezekiel Elliott. He just does. Here's the problem, though. He may love Zeke. But does Zeke love him back? And what I mean is, the reason why these agents are going back or going to the combine and trying to gauge his worth, because he knows. Zeke knows, his agent knows, okay, you can't go back to Dallas on that amount of money. So let's see if we can get another team to bite at 10 million plus. Another team to bite at this expensive type of contract. Yeah, Cowboys can let him go, but now he knows, okay, I can go to X team for X amount of dollars. So I think they feel the pressure. They feel the heat that if he's going to come back here, he's got to come back here on a really cheap contract. Now, how cheap though? Because put aside what I believe should happen, what's best for the team. Put yourself in Zeke's shoes. How far are you willing to go? How low can you go? Are we talking 1 year, $3 million? Veteran minimum? Like at some point, it's going to be a slap in the face. And I don't know if Jerry wants to do that to Zeke. Steven don't give a damn. And I don't know if Zeke wants to be put through that. Hence why I think his reps are at the combine and looking to see where his value's at. I don't need to pose the question per se, because I think I know how a lot of you feel. But I do know that there are still some that are holding out hope that he can return. And again, we had this conversation before. We brought Okoye on. We had a fantastic discussion and dialogue about the Zeke situation. And I think even they, and I say they, I mean Okoye and those who are for bringing back Zeke, came to the conclusion, yeah, we can't bring him back as is. And if you can't bring him back as is, that tells you all you need to know. That tells you that he has what? Declined, or the juice is not worth the squeeze. And that's where we come back to this cap casualty. And I use that cap casualty because, look, when you hear the term cap casualty, there's a lot that falls under it. It is not cut and dry. If teams are looking to move on from somebody for cap reasons, there are a handful of reasons why. Number one, the juice is not worth the squeeze anymore. It's just not. Because think about it. If you were performing at an extremely high level, getting paid what you're getting paid, people will deal with it. They'll restructure. They'll move the money down. It doesn't matter. So the juice isn't worth the squeeze anymore. Or you've just declined, period. You're just not that player anymore. You're just not that guy, pal. Or a team is looking to go in a completely different direction because you don't fit what this new coach wants, what this new scheme is. Or rebuilding. It's time. The window's closed. They're rebuilding, and this veteran player is just not, I don't want to say worth keeping, but we can use money or we could use draft picks to try to get younger guys because we know we're not going to be competing. So there's a lot that falls under cap casualty. It's not just he's too expensive, cut him. It's a lot that comes with it. And Dallas has a number of those guys. Obviously, Zeke. We just talked about it. They're going to have to make a decision on Zeke. The other one that we've talked about, Tyron Smith. Again, not a difficult decision to me, but Jerry tends to be invested in these guys. I think it's time to move on from Tyron Smith as well. We know we're going to get 6 or 7 games maybe from Tyron, unless Tyron wants to come back as a swing tackle for, $5 million where he's not a starter and he can go in and spot duty. Sure. Okay. But man, Tyron is going to go in the Hall of Fame, but man, he's broke. He's broke down. I mean, this wouldn't be a conversation with other organizations. But then you have other little names, because there's not a bunch of big names in Dallas. Believe it or not, the cap casualty list for Dallas isn't some great big list that's going to save you a ton of money outside of Zeke and Tyron. Those are it. The other guys, you're talking about a Jordan Lewis potentially, because he has 1 year left on his deal and give you about $5 million. You're talking about maybe a Neville Gallimore. Maybe time has run out. He's been benched. He's been put on a trade block. He'll only give you a couple $1 million. It's not a lot, which is why I wanted to flip this on his head and look around the league and say, okay, well, what about guys around the league that could potentially be cut that could help Dallas? Because they fall into one of those 3 or 4 things. But coming here, maybe they can fit the new scheme, fit with the coaching. Maybe they're not done at all. They just have a team that's going a different direction. So I got 2 of these guys that I want to talk about in a couple minutes here. But let's hit the phone lines real quick, because we got my guy Los on the horn. It seems like he got something to say about this topic today. What's good, Los?
Yeah, good morning, Scott. Just wanted to give you a quick call in, before the whole weekdays are over. I hope you're having a great morning.
Indeed, I am.
All right, just one quick thing, man. Like I always said, Sky, and I hate to bring the past to fruition, but the thing is about Zeke is, when Zeke asked for the money, I think we had an opportunity to extend Dak. Am I correct? Before Zeke?
Yeah. That was a season. They signed Zeke. They extended Lyle, and they extended Jalen.
And I think by the Cowboys, I think they just – one thing that my mom always told me is patience, And if you don't have patience, that thing will come to bite you in the ass. And I feel like with Dallas, them signing Zeke so soon before Dak is now coming to bite them in the ass. Because, like you said, this guy, he hasn't really lived up to his new restructured deal. He's been solid. Don't get me that. He's been solid. He's a great running back. He's efficient, but he's not what would you call those top 3 running backs? Eckler, freaking, top 3 running backs in this league. And I feel like, it is time to let him go, I hate to put this analogy, right? But, when a college student goes to a new college program, right, they see there's a new kid on the block, ready to make some noise and everything. But when you become a senior and your opportunities have ended, it's time to look for the new star players. So, I think this is Zeke's senior year with the Cowboys. He's not that new shiny toe that everybody wants to have on field, but he's solid enough to put out there. But, if we keep him, we better keep him for less. But if we keep him for like a high, still deal, man, that's just gonna be a hindrance to the Cowboys. And I just feel like you can always find running backs any year of the draft.
Yep.
And there's a solid of them coming out this year. And I just want to know your opinions on that, Sky. Peace.
I mean, appreciate you. So just as, in my opinion, just as important as the allocation of cap resources, because I could use that money elsewhere at a position more value and need it, is his role. If he comes back and he's at a price that satisfies everyone, I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's enough. I think, okay, now what is his role? And mind you, while he has matured and he's said this year, man, it was tough last year. I didn't want to give. Now I'm putting words in his mouth here, but he basically was saying it was hard for me to be okay with giving Tony Pollard more opportunity. He didn't want to do it last year. This year, he accepted it. What if Tony Pollard's not back, right? And they draft the 3rd or 4th round running back. Now you got Malik Davis, this 3rd or 4th round running back, and Zeke. Do you honestly think Zeke is just going to acquiesce to Malik Davis in the 3rd and 4th round running back? Have a hard time seeing that. So it's not just the money, it's about the role. I think if he's going to come back, his role has to be limited. It has to decrease a little bit. There should be no more games of him carrying the ball 17 times. Like, what are we doing? Shouldn't be any of that. I mean, I'm talking about a guy that gets 10 to 12 carries. And here's the problem with the people that say, well, Zeke gets better with more carries. Man, this ain't 2016 anymore. This ain't 2016. I'm not in the business of giving Ezekiel Elliott 20, 25, 27 carries. Not at this stage. Not anymore. So if he's going to come back and be willing to accept a goal line, short yardage, bang my head into, linebackers all day type of role where I'm only getting the ball 10 times, 12 times at max, and I'm splitting duties with the other 2 backs, then it's a conversation you can possibly talk me into. I ain't saying talk y'all into, talk me into. But if it's come back and he's still going to be 15, 17, 18 touch guy, starter, for why? My playbook is limited with him. I don't care about this blocking thing everybody wants to talk about. If he's going to come back as a blocker, then he needs to come back with that diminished role, like I said. And as good of a blocker as he is on 3rd down, he's extremely limited as a passer. So, yeah, he could be in there to block for you on 3rd down, but he's not an option to go catch the rock, which I would much rather that guy be an option catching the rock. So, if you disagree, I would love for you, again, to call in and tell me why it is so important that he returns to this team. I'm going to tell you why this guy could be important to return to this team. Okay. I got 2 cap casualty guys I got interest in. And this first one might be a bit controversial because on his exit, not a lot of people liked him. But I look at this as a low risk, high reward type of situation if he returns. And I'm talking about one, Byron Jones. Whoa, Sky, he has been a complete miss in Miami. He was hurt. Yep, you're right. He was a miss in Miami. Last year, he didn't even play. He lost his season due to the Achilles injury. Okay, 2021, he was underwhelming. No doubt about it. But we know for a fact that Byron Jones fits what Will McClay likes to do because Will McClay drafted Byron Jones. 6'2", long corner, can do some man thing. Like, Byron Jones fits everything that this organization, franchise, likes in a cornerback. We've also seen Dan Quinn take guys and resurrect their careers here in Dallas. It's not out of the Malik Davis, Carlos Watkins, Jaron Kearse, Anthony Brown had a career year, right? Jordan Lewis had a career year. And it's not like Byron is some bum. Byron underwhelmed in Miami, but Byron's got talent. Byron is not a bum per se. I hate to even say per se. He's not. Now, you could say, was the juice worth the squeeze? Hey, not our problem. That's not our problem anymore. Because Byron Jones, if he becomes a cap casualty, he'll fall under the juice not worth the squeeze anymore. Been paid, so it won't cost you a lot. But he's not getting another big contract. He's not going to get that. He's likely going to get probably closer to the minimum than anything market value for top cornerbacks. So if I can bring in a guy who's a veteran, who has talent that I think Dan Quinn can work with to bring him back on a cheap deal, really only has to be 1 year. I'm not asking anybody to sign Byron for 3, 4, 5 years. You can get Byron here for 1 year. Right? I take it. Well, Sky, wouldn't he be A progress stopper? Not necessarily. Hear me out. If you sign a Byron Jones, mind you, this is before the draft. If you sign a Byron Jones, he allows you to keep Deron Bland at slot corner and let him grow into the slot role that he's been really good at, right? You also go into the draft to say, hey, listen, if we don't want to take a cornerback in round 1, we don't have to pigeonhole ourselves into doing so. But if we are true BPA and the cornerback is there, we don't have to ignore it either. Because you're talking about a 1-year deal for Byron Jones to plug over there to be an upgrade over Anthony Brown. And he would be an upgrade over Anthony Brown, Cowboys Nation. He'd be an upgrade over Anthony Brown. So you could still draft that corner, right? And here's the beauty of a Byron Jones if you do that. I don't think Byron Jones would have any problem at all. If this first-round corner came in, he pushed Byron Jones' tail and eventually beat him out, I don't think Byron Jones would be sulking. I think Byron Jones, being the stand-up leader guy that he is, would try to help this young guy while being that veteran presence in that room. Oh, and still being depth. Like, we understand we have to have depth. Your depth would then be Trey Diggs, Deron Bland, cornerback 1, first round cornerback, and Byron Jones. So I just look at this as a win, win, win. Low risk, high reward, easy money. 1-year deal, a little bit of money. I don't see how this would be an issue. We talked about the other day when Lee said, well, we could bring AB back for depth. And I was like, what if you can get better depth? I think Byron Jones would be better depth here in Dallas with Dan Quinn. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put a poll in here as we get on a horn on Byron Jones. Pretty simple. Would you sign Byron to a 1-year cheap deal? That's a pretty simple deal. And I'll get to the poll. All right, 559, what it is, what it do?
Hey, Sky, how's it going, man?
What's up with you?
Hey, I was wondering, what are your thoughts on, Micah asking for a deep tackle? Because he knows the importance of somebody up the middle. I mean, you got Nick Bosa out there with some beast next to him, and I want you to tell me if that makes a difference.
Say this again.
I want to know if that makes a difference in Dan Quinn's defense. And,
if what makes a difference?
Having those D tackles on the D line, does that help Micah, or does that make a big difference?
I think having impact defensive tackles is going to help anybody's scheme or anyone. It helps everyone, right? Like, because the middle of the pocket is so crucial and it affects quarterbacks. And obviously, if you are also affecting the run game, that helps your linebackers too, right? So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's why I heard Micah, talk about getting Calais Campbell or Deron Payne, because he knows the importance, and because he knows what a Bosa has out there. So that's it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. Let's get 862. Oh, is this Shaq?
In the afternoon, so please make sure you check that. There's
Shaq.
Just about a few things. So
We gotta come back to Shaq. Shaq at work. 3, 2, 1. What it is? What it do?
Hey, that boy had them things going on in the background.
Yeah, bro. He is in a Zoom meeting.
Hey, man. Hey, Scott. This is Lamont, bro. I know I called a couple of days ago
What's up,
talking about Anthony Brown and bringing him back for depth. If you can get a Byron Jones, that is a significant upgrade over. Well, he's a upgrade over Anthony Brown. I'm not going to say significant because we don't know how he would. The only reason I'm saying that is we don't know how he would play inside of Dan Quinn's system.
Fair enough. What if I see? Here's me trying to sell you on it. I've watched Dan Quinn resurrect J-Ron Curse, Malik Hooker, Anthony Brown, Jordan. Like, all those dudes had career years under under Dan Quinn, and none of them had Byron Jones' resume, whether it be coming out of college or in the NFL. So what if I could sell you that, Dan, you put Byron healthy, right? With Dan Quinn, I think the potential is way greater. I'm trying to sell you. I'm trying to sell you.
I hear you, brother. I hear you, and I think his potential could be better, but I just don't know because remember when Byron was there, he played that same position as Diggs, only mainly on that right side of the field. He wasn't really a traveler. He would travel, but he wouldn't travel as much.
I mean, he doesn't need to. I don't need him travel. Yeah. Just stay on your side. Yeah.
So I was going to actually ask you, what do you think about us bringing on Sharif Floyd as the defensive tackle coach?
I don't have a strong opinion on it either way. But for his personal gain, I'm happy for him. He's a young guy, looking to get in the coaching field, and this is his shot. But there really isn't much we can really say. I mean, he's a defensive quality control coach that doesn't have a resume of coaching yet. So I can't really. There's nothing I can really say more than good for him, and hopefully he adds something to this team.
Okay. And just one last thing before I want to let you go. I would say Deron Payne would be a great addition, but with the way the Joneses think, I don't think we're going to get a Deron Payne. They'll probably resign a couple of the players, and they'll probably try to bring in some type of cheap aging veteran who they feel like could be serviceable. So it sucks for Micah because, to me, I think Micah's everything that Ray Lewis was, except when it comes to play recognition. He's everything that Ray Lewis is, but without the play recognition. He brings the intensity. He brings everything you want in a linebacker, and they should want to treat him as Ray Lewis. They should give him his Siragusa or his Haloti Ngata, just to let him be free and play linebacker and just terrorize quarterbacks like he did Tom Brady. But that's all I got for the show, brother.
Hey, appreciate you, Mike. Yeah, when Mike can speak like that, they should listen. But we in Dallas. We in Dallas. That's gonna fall on deaf ears, which is wild because Micah. See, people. This is something I had to tell people coming out of college. They assumed this dude didn't have it up here. When it came to football, like oh, he's gonna get. Micah's smart as hell on that field. Micah know what he's talking about. So if your best player is telling you, yo, we need a guy like Deron Payne, you probably should listen. Right? Like, you probably should listen to him. But, I mean, this is not new. The defensive tackle position being in need in Dallas for years. For the same reasons he's saying. So, that's what we have to contend with. That's why I say these players got to overcome that. Meanwhile, these other teams is like, yo, let's go get XYZ to whatever, though. But we're trying to stick to here. But I feel you. They absolutely should be taking what Micah is saying seriously and be looking to beef up everything around him, if we're being completely honest. All right, let's see if we can get Shaq back. Shaq. All right, we got you, man. We thought you was at work.
Oh, I am at work. Well, I was about to say, I keep it quick. I was going to talk about Sharif Floyd.
Yeah.
What happened was during one of his injured seasons, he had went to the doctors and they did surgery on it, but the doctor basically fucked up.
Ooh.
And that's ruined his NFL career. He wasn't able to come back.
I wonder if he if he sued the doctor.
I believe he did. Minnesota and the NFL, I think, compensated him.
Okay. It was a Minnesota doctor. Like the Vikings?
Yeah.
Damn. It's a bad way to go out.
Yeah, so, I know, if you look back, I know you're not really familiar with the Vikings, but when we had that amazing defense, we had Sharif Floyd, Anthony Barr when he was young, Eric Kendricks. Sharif Floyd was the key to that defense because his first step was one of the best in the NFL coming into the league. And having that come up the middle, that's the best pressure you could get, interior pressure, which is why I'm hoping he's able to coach any defensive tackles y'all might have to learn how to get that initial quick first step and then beat the guard and center to the quarterback.
That's great insight because you were down there with, or not down there, but you're a fan of the Vikings. I wonder if we go even further on this Sharif Floyd thing, if he would work real close with a Osa, right? Because they're both that quick step, three techie type of guys where Osa was dealing with kind of a listen. No knock on Let, right? Leon Let. He's been around the block. But maybe Floyd can help Osa unlock a different level. We'll see.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, damn, I forgot my point.
My bad.
No, it's all good. So yeah, so with that Sharif Floyd, hopefully he's because I noticed he was in camp last year for y'all.
Yep.
I don't know if you're invited about that. I seen it because I follow him on Instagram. And I'm just glad he's able to continue like helping out in the NFL because I know his career was cut short.
Yeah, damn, that sucks. I didn't realize that's what happened to him. Hey, appreciate the insight there, Shaq.
All right. Take care.
Yes, sir. One more. Actually, two more. And then I'm going to go to my second guy, and then we're going to just rock out. 860. What it is, what it do?
Hey, what's up, Skywalker still? How's it going, baby?
I'm all right, man. How you on this beautiful Friday?
I'm doing good. And I agree with you 100%. So we're going to make this quick. I'll take Byron Jones back on a vet minimum. All day. Him, Deron Bland, Trayvon Diggs. I'm with that. And I really feel like we gotta pay Diggs this year. Like we gotta pay him this year.
Yeah, they probably want to get out ahead of it. If they are 10 toes down on actually signing Diggs, keeping him around, then you want to get ahead of it now. That way you can push some of this money down the pike, right? And use the available cap space to make your team better.
Exactly. Now, my next question to you is, how much would you pay him? Anywhere between 18 to 20 mil?
Well, I mean, I think that's what it's going to take. I think it might even be more than that now. I haven't went and looked at the top 5 cornerback money, but I do know we're looking in that 20+ mil, and that's a lot. I ain't going to hold you. I get it. But,
yeah, that is a lot.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We got to get it done now.
Yeah, what you got to do is try to push that thing out. Like you got to try to get a long-term deal and push it out so you can your first couple years of the cap hit are nothing, and you can use that to try to make your team better and hopefully win the Super Bowl at that time.
Yeah, that makes sense. And last thing before I go, how are you on the kid Jalen Hyatt? Jalen Hyatt, the dude that torched Alabama with 4 or 5 touchdowns.
I like the kid a lot. I was just talking to Professor O about it. I said he's not necessarily a prototypical McCarthy West Coast guy, but I said give me a dude with that type of speed and playmaking ability, and I'll figure the rest out. Like I'll figure it out. But he's not my first choice, but he's a guy that I damn sure won't complain if you put that talent on my team.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that at all. Good call, Scott. Good call.
Good call, brother. Good call. Appreciate
you. Peace.
I got you, Daddy. I'm gonna get to you in a second, but this is gonna be a fantastic segue here. Ain't heard from my guy Tony from Tampa in the grip. What's good, Tony from Tampa?
Man, what's up, man? What's going on, man?
Hey, Tony, how come every time you call, it's always at the end after we lose, and you gotta come in like, damn.
Look, bro, I be so hurt, man. I be burying my head,
I hear
man,
you,
for
bro.
real. When I think we got it, man, I think we hungry. We just, I don't know, man.
I hear you.
Man, look, number one show, man, in the morning time, you know, this is the number one show, man. I wish that the executives would listen to this, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you something, man. We suffering from favoritism, man.
Ooh.
We suffering from a heavy favoritism, man. One thing you know about football, man, and everybody else listening know, that you put the best players on the field, man. That personal relationship, if you want to keep them your friend, that's fine. But everybody knows Zeke time been up, man. Everybody know his time been up, man. Come on, man. The man averaging 2-3 yards a carry, man. 3 yards a carry, man. Come on, man.
You know what, Tony?
Come on, man. I look.
You know what?
Yeah.
What I try to do for people that say, don't look at the production because offensive line and this and that. I say, okay, cool. Remove the production. Take 2-1 off the jersey. Remove the last name. Remove the feed me thing. Just watch the tape. You tell me that guy that you're watching out there with a blank slate is a guy that you absolutely need to keep around. Man, just tell me you're a big fan of him. You love him as a fan, and that's why I want to keep him because I'm a fan.
Yeah,
just
that's
say
what
that,
I'm saying.
and that's cool.
Man,
that's cool.
Man, look, man. Look. We ain't put in Turpin. We ain't use Turpin. We ain't use Malik Davis. I mean, come on, man. Like a lot of Cowboy fans, man. I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of Cowboy fans, they suffer from the favoritism, but your eyes don't lie, man. Your eyes don't lie. You look at your eyes do not lie, man. You know what I'm saying? People crunch numbers, do all the numbers. I rely on my eyes, man. You know what I'm saying? And the man been out of gas. He been out of gas, man. You know what I'm saying? And for me personally, when he would have went to Cabo, he would have stayed in Cabo.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? We play the favoritism game, man. You know what I'm saying? We pay all the ones we love. We pay them all this money, and you know what I'm saying? Your eyes don't lie to you. You know what I mean? What's the reason why we keeping him there?
I don't know, man. I truly don't. I don't have answers anymore. He does nothing at this level that I have to keep him. That I can't get better production or at the very least the same elsewhere. I just don't get it. He'll put out the videos in the off season that's cutting. He'll look good. He'll give you some early season spring, and then he'll just he's a 20-something-year-old, 27-year-old. He got like over I don't know how many thousands of carries or whatever it is. It's time. He's just time.
He's taking up space, man. We could be putting some protection with that money. We could be putting some protection around Dak. We could be giving him some more weapons. We can give him, at least two weapons.
See,
with
stuff
that
like
money.
that, Marcus. He's the heart and soul of the team. See, that's exactly why he's going to be kept around. That's exactly why he's going to be kept around, and we're going to be getting mad that we run the ball on first and second down for 3.1 yards per carry, and we're on third and longs or something crazy because the heart and soul of our team. He's not the heart and
This
soul
is the
of
last
this team.
thing I'm going to say, man. This is the last thing I'm going to say because I know you want to get your thing off. But, look, man, Michael want lions around him, man. You know what I'm saying? Michael is a competitor, man. He's a competitor. He want other people that's going to compete on a level he's competing at. You feel what I'm saying? That's why he's trying to get Deron Payne. That's why he out there recruiting. You feel what I'm saying? But we the cheapest. We want people to come on a home team discount and all this stuff. Other teams ain't doing that, man. And just like Sue, how did we let Sue go to Philly when we needed somebody in the middle? How did we let him go? You feel what I'm saying? He probably could have put us over the top in San Fran.
Well,
you never know.
I don't know if he would have did that, but I feel you. Micah said we got to spend the money, and he's not a cap guy. He's just a player. He don't understand all that stuff. But he's saying, listen, I'm seeing the rest of the league say screw all this we in the middle, and let's just think about 5 years from down the road. Spend the damn money.
Man, keep it real, man. Philly ain't that, bro. I feel like on a neutral site we would have beat the shit out of Philly, man. Excuse my language, but I just feel like when I seen them in the Super Bowl, I feel like we there. I feel like Philly, I don't even think Philly is better than us. Everybody call about Philly. Man, Philly ain't better than us. You know what I'm saying? We right there with them.
As much as
I don't understand. I don't understand, man.
I mean, the difference between the top two teams that finished in the Super Bowl and the other four is not that great of a difference. Not in this version.
No, they just hungry. They just wanted it. They just wanted it. They got more people that wanted it on the team. They got more people that were hungry, and they got more people that wanted it. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Lewis, come on, man. Let's go. Let's get him. Come on, man. Everybody, all these people that ain't contributing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they need to go. We need to stop this favoritism stuff, man. We need to get some new, fresh blood, some Lions in there. Get us another Michael Parsons or something. Maybe we might luck up and get another one. We need to make some moves, man. That's it. That's all I'm saying, man. I put my head back in the sand till next year. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, man, we got look. Once draft come around, we'll get that excitement going again, man. Hey, appreciate you, Tony.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Peace.
Ben said, instead of we them boys, we them middle. Wow. This is why I thought this is a great segue. That's Tony from Tampa. And the next guy that I think, now this one's going to be a little bit on the other side, but you got to hear me out. That could be a potential cap casualty, and he falls under the umbrella, right, of one of the four things that I talked about. You either juice is not worth the squeeze, your play has declined, there's a different direction with the team because of coach's scheme or whatever. But this is where this guy falls in. I believe this team knows that their window is not open anymore, and they're looking to move forward, and they could potentially let him go, and he plays a position that I think Dallas is looking at this moment. And I'm talking about Shaq Mason, guard from Tampa Bay. Tony from Tampa, Shaq Mason from Tampa. So Mason is a guy that I was actually wanting Dallas to look into last year when got traded for a 5th round pick, by the way, Pro Bowl guard. When the Bucks traded for Shaq Mason from the Patriots. Now they might have a chance to do it again. Or they might have a chance to actually sign him outright. Well, Scott, why would they be looking to get rid of Shaq Mason? Well, Tom Brady's not there no more. They're likely not looking to contend in 2023. This could be one of those situations where they move on from Shaq Mason, they save X amount of dollars on the cap space, and just try to use that moving forward on some young guys. Here's the problem. He's not going to be the penny pinching type of signing that Byron, I think, would be. Byron, I think, would be extremely low to get. But Shaq, I think, is going to have suitors on the market. I don't think he's going to get the top end guard money, but I don't think he's going to be extremely cheap. So Steve going to have to be willing to pay a little bit. And I say, why not? Because they haven't paid for a guard in a long time. And here's what I find interesting. Stephen Jones loves to recall the situations that didn't work in free agency, like, right? The Brandon Jones that he considers didn't work. But he always conveniently leaves out the one that did, or the ones that did. And the one that did, years ago, 2007, the last time the Cowboys really went out and spent some money on the free agent offensive line from one guy, was Big Leonard Davis. He was a failed tackle in Arizona, turned guard in Dallas, and put together a fantastic 3 years following it. Now, his play eventually tailed off, but before it did, he was a 3-time Pro Bowler and an All-Pro his first season in Dallas. Now, I'm not saying that Shaq would come here and have that type of impact, but Shaq Mason is a former Pro Bowler, is a veteran offensive lineman. He's not going to be cheap, so he's going to cost you a little bit of money, but I don't even think he's going to cost you as much as Leonard cost you at that time. But when we talk about investing in an O-line, it doesn't always have to be first-round draft pick. There's no harm in signing an established veteran, grown-ass man up front that knows what he's doing. Oh, by the way, you put him next to Tyler Smith if you want to keep Tyler Smith at tackle. Now you got that veteran dude who's been productive, if I'm not mistaken, the Super Bowl champion. I believe he won a Super Bowl in Patriots. So, that type of guy that plays guard, not Jason Peters, who's a tackle, move him to guard. And then you also put him next to Tyler Biadasz. Technically, you'd have 3 Pro Bowlers on the interior, right? You got 3 Pro Bowlers. So, I mean, you go into next season and you tell me Tyler Smith, Shaq Mason, Tyler Biadasz, Zach Martin, Terrence Steele at some point. Oh, boy, let's party. Let's party. Well, Sky's going to cost money. So, do you want to win or do you want to win the salary cap bowl? I'd be willing to pay Shaq Mason money. He's not a 35-year-old dude. Sign him to a quality contract, plug him in that left guard, and let's work. Now you don't got to draft an offensive lineman in the first 3 rounds. Now I can go in. Look, think about this for a second, y'all. If you were to, I mean, we're just throwing stuff out there. They may not even cut Shaq Mason or Byron Jones, but let's say they do. Say they cut Byron Jones. Say they cut Shaq Mason. You get Byron Jones on a 1 year, $3-4 million deal. You sign Shaq Mason to a 4-year deal where he's, I don't know, it averages out to $10 million, but you know you can mess around with the monies. You mean to tell me I can go into the draft and I say I don't have to pigeonhole myself into a corner? I don't have to pigeonhole myself into a left tackle or a left guard? Let's cook. Come on now. But see, I don't think that Steven, because Steven said it, I don't like free agency, man, because in free agency, you're paying this and that. Look, Steven, you can look at free agency on the negative side like that, or you could tend to look at it the way I look at it like this. Now, I know I'll put the poll up in there about Byron Jones, but I ain't going to put the poll in here. I just want to see what y'all say. Would you be down to signing Shaq Mason? And look, take into account, it may not be cheap. If you say no because it's going to cost you money, fine. But would you be down to signing Shaq Mason? Yes or no? Army Cowboy. I hear you. It does not. The great Marcus Hardison, salary cap bowl does not equal Super Bowl. Period. Marcus said Tyler Mason, Tyler Martin Steele sounds pretty good to me. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And the beautiful thing about that is it's not some expensive line. You got Shaq and you got Zach and Zach Martin. That's it. Everybody else is on essentially rookie deals. So I'm all for that. Hell yeah, says Dro. Yes, DA. Yes, A Hatch. How well is his health? Shaq Mason plays every year. He's not a hurt guy. He played over 1,000 snaps last year, only had 2 penalties. In the last 2 seasons, he's only given up. Did I have that on here? I don't think I did. Okay, I didn't have that on here. In the last 2 seasons, he's only given up 2 sacks. In the last 3 seasons, only 5. So he's a quality guy. Okay, so I was waiting for somebody to say no. So Dalton says pass, and then he gave me his reason. I appreciate that. He'd rather take a rookie. All right. Looks like 99% of you guys are down for signing a Shaq Mason. King said, I'm selling it today. I'm just saying, man. Okay, 2 guys. So Kai said nah. So 2 on a no. But everybody else looks like they're down for Shaq. I believe Shaq Mason is he just turned 30. He will be. He's 29. So he'll be 30 going into the season. All right. Let's jump back into the phone lines and finish out this show. Danny Macho Man Randy Savage, I got you an offensive lineman. How you feeling?
I was good morning, Scott.
You a draft guy, so I don't think you like this one, do you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I would sign him to listen. I'll sign anyone to help Dallas win. Jimmy Johnson said he would play the devil if the devil would help him win. Jimmy said that, not me. I'm a Catholic, but I'm just saying. Now, I just see Stephen sitting back in his big desk saying, "Well, we got Steele, got to pay next year, but we got Steele where we want him. He's hurt.
Yeah,
we got him. So I can see Stephen saying, let's draft a rookie and let's pay Steele, who we know what we got. That's who I'm just trying to say. Another good, I just thought about this now. The great thing with Tampa Bay is they got a whole bunch of wide receivers with nobody to throw the ball to them. So their trade capital for those wide receivers comes down. Getting back to Zeke real quick. I don't want...
The conference has been unlocked.
Come on in, Coach.
I'm gonna ask you,
just Coach.
I'm going to ask you the question. You got to push one person off a cliff. Zeke, LVE, Donovan Wilson. Only two of the 3 could come back. Who are you pushing off the cliff?
Well, Donald's coming back. I think it got to be Zeke. I mean, look, listen. I ain't no big LVE guy, but
Me neither. But
I just
he
don't see.
outplayed his $10 deal.
Yeah, he did.
He
absolutely
outplayed
did.
his. So, and we've said this before. The other caller, they play favoritism. It's not favoritism.
The conference has been locked.
And instead of X's and O's in Dallas, it's dollars and cents. You've been to training camp. I never have. How many people are wearing Zeke jerseys?
That is the concern, right? Like, are they trying to keep him for other reasons, not on the football field?
Right.
Yeah.
And people talking Bijan when his backup Johnson's better.
Well, then
you're going to draft Bijan.
We'd just be making the same mistake.
Just it's insanity all over, and all the Dallas fans tonight when it's late, go on Netflix and rent Major Pain, because that's the only pain we're getting. We're not getting Deron Payne, and the crazy part about it is this is just simple football. We're not looking to get a left tackle. We're not looking to get a shutdown corner. This is basic football where you need two bulls in the middle so the linebackers can run freely. But Dallas doesn't understand that because nobody buys their jerseys.
Indeed.
And just frustrated again. But listen, the Byron Jones would love it. He's a McClay guy. But is he a Dan Quinn guy? Because I know Dan Quinn loves those super, super tall corners.
Yeah, Byron's 6'2", ain't he? Or six? He's about 6 foot, 6'1", something like that.
I think.
Hey, Byron.
It's been a while since they drafted him out of Connecticut.
I think Byron is one of those long, athletic corners that Dan likes. Yeah.
I would take him back in a heartbeat. But now. Yeah. Oh, do we not take him back to bring Zeke back? Listen, if Zeke comes back,
and closing,
if Tylen comes back, it's done. And I'm landing the plane. I'm out of here. Have a great weekend, you and your family.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah, so, that was an interesting little question he had there. Look, I want to save Coach Marr for last, so I'm gonna try to get through all these coaches. Hang tight, and let's make it a bit quick. He said Donald, LVE, or Zeke. I mean Donald, clearly. But then I saw somebody here say Zeke is more viable than LVE. Not in 2022. When LVE went down, we saw the value of LVE in 2022. Maybe not 2021 or 2020 when he got hurt. But in 2022, we saw the value of LVE. When Zeke went down, Tony Pollard didn't miss a beat. Malik Davis started showing out. When Tony Pollard went down, Zeke averaged 2 yards per carry. 202, what it is, what it do? Going once, 202. All right, 214, what it is, what it do?
Good morning, Sky. Star.
Hey, Star, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Great, man. We had a fantastic conversation this morning.
Absolutely. So I'll try to make this quick. I think I agree with you 100% in how to build up the O-line. I think a lot of times in Dallas Cowboy land, we think, we want to get build up our O-line, we got to use that first round pick to get it. And I don't think that's true necessarily. I think it's good to use the first round pick because obviously we hit on those. But I think you also build your line through the free agency. You look at Kansas City, they did the same thing, right? Or I think either they got Brown through free agency they traded for him.
They got Tooney through free agency, and they traded for Orlando Brown. They in fact, they are the perfect example. Them in Philly, for being completely honest, the perfect example of using free agency and the offense. And the draft, because they got Creed Humphrey, one of the best centers in the draft. They drafted Trey Smith, one of the better young guards in the league, and then they signed the two other guys. So, Bing Pow, bam.
Absolutely. Right, exactly. So I think we have to do both. I think a lot of times we focus on draft picks when we need to, if we want to say we want to make our offensive line elite immediately, we're going to have to do both. We're going to have to draft. We're going to have to either make a trade or we're going to have to get somebody out of the free agency. I'm for getting Shaq Mason. I'm also interested, I think I said McGlinchey last time, but he's probably going to be out of market. But I'm also interested in Trey Turner. I think he's 29 years old, and I think he would also help shore up our line. I'm not sure if he's been having injury issues or not.
Yeah, I haven't.
But I do know he used
looked
to be
into him.
Yeah, I had to look into him too, but I do know he used to be a young stud guard, so I do really think, and he's not super old, so I do think adding him to our line would also help us tremendously. I'm also for let's get Byron Jones. I never wanted to get rid of Byron Jones. I don't know why we did not pay him in the first place. I mean, I guess probably Baby Nuts Jones just did not want to pay him, didn't think he was worth it, but we should have always kept Byron Jones because we see how his career went over there in Miami, and it wasn't great. And I think Byron Jones indeed would be in consideration for top 5 cornerback duo in the league. So I'm definitely for getting. I like it. For sure. I mean, I'm definitely for getting Byron Jones. I think we should do that, right? So that I think we should let's try to build our team so that we can go into the draft and just get who we want. Like BPA, we don't have to be pigeonholed into getting a certain position. That's what I think we should do.
In closing,
what'd you say?
In closing, they actually tried to do that. That's what's wild. That's what they're going to sell you, right? Like, oh, well, that's why we go sign to Washington and we go sign to Fowler because we are filling those holes, but they filling those holes with I don't even want to call it duct tape. It ain't even that strong. They're filling those holes with bubble gum. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They're putting bubble gum right there and hoping that the levee don't break. But so they're going to do that. They're going to sign guys like cheap, super cheap, maybe guys that we're like, who is this? And hope that it, works out. But I think a Shaq Mason and a Byron Jones is more than a hopeful signing. I think these are guys that could be impactful.
Oh, yeah, those are proven vets. That's what I'm talking about. We're not talking about the typical Marshalls. Let's see if maybe they work out. We're talking about let's sure things up with for sure starters, and then we go into the draft and we just add some young youth. And I'll just say this last thing because I know you got to go, but I'm not a Zeke apologist. I get everybody saying, let's get rid of Zeke. Let's get rid of Zeke. He's washed. He can't add anything to
I don't want to use the word washed. That feels disrespectful. I'll let y'all do that.
Yeah.
But I don't think his juice is worth the squeeze.
Right. And I get it. And I tweeted myself. I'm like, Zeke kind of waned off. He missed some holes there in the 49ers game. I did that right after the 49ers game. So I'm not for keeping Zeke at the salary. I think if Zeke gets paid about $6 to $8 million, I'm fine with keeping him. And I definitely want to draft a running back. I'm not saying let's not draft a running back. Hell, we can draft 2 running backs if we want to.
So basically getting rid of Tony Pollard, keeping Zeke at 6, and then drafting a back.
That's what I would do personally. I know people would say it was crazy because of TP, but TP coming off of that foot injury, and if you see the way Tony Pollard runs, like he kind of runs like on his tippy toes, like it for that momentum. Like look at the way he strides. I don't know if Tony Pollard is going to be back to form. We saw how we did with Michael Gallup, and I'm trying to tell
Michael Gallup tore his ACL.
But Tony Pollard is a running back that has a foot injury. If he doesn't return back to form,
no. He doesn't have a foot injury. He fractured, or he had an ankle injury. See, this isn't a fifth metatarsal. No, this is different. Seriously. See, this is the beauty of having a guy like the doctor on the show. The fifth metatarsal thing, the Liz Frank thing, that's more of a long-term serious issue. Like I specifically asked the doctor about this being a long-term issue, and he said it's not a problem. But hey,
I mean, if it's not a problem and Tony Pollard returns back to form, then okay. But if he doesn't return back to form,
well, when is Zeke going to return back to form? Well, I want to know.
No one said. What I'm saying is everybody says it, right? They said at the beginning of last year. They said at the beginning of this year. Wow, Zeke got the burst. Wow, Zeke's averaging 7 yards per carry. Oh wow. Everybody says this about Zeke, and then he gets the knee injury. That's why everybody wants to be done with him because they're saying he results in too many injuries.
See, here's the problem. The bar gets lower for Zeke. We saying wow because it's like, oh snap, I didn't expect Ezekiel Elliott to actually have a little burst right there, but he don't got real burst. He got burst for an old man. Like Zeke is not even early season Zeke is not peak Zeke. It's just that we have a lower standard for Ezekiel Elliott.
Zeke is never going to. It's wishful thinking. Zeke is never going to return back to 2016.
Then he don't need to be on this roster.
Oh my God! So basically, we said if you're not 2016, I'm the leading rusher. I think he did that
2016, 17, 18. If he ain't the first 4 years,
we just need to throw Zeke away. All right.
Yes.
I know. We'll see. We'll have to see. But I'll let you guys. I know you got to get to other callers.
All right, appreciate you. Love. See, I see. This is why I like Star. She allowed me to get my passion out there. Look, no, $6 to $8 million for Zeke to come back as my starter. Oh hell no, hell. I don't got the button anymore. I don't even got the button no more. See, this is the thing I'm worried about. If he comes back and get rid of TP and they draft a guy, ain't no way the drafted dude and Malik Davis is going to push Zeke off the field. Not happening. So now we're leaning on a 28-year-old, whatever he is, 27, 28-year-old Zeke with all those carries. Man. No, we need somebody that legitimately will push him off the field or compete with him on the field. And I don't think Malik Davis in the 3rd round, 4th round back is going to do it. Don't see it. Don't see it. 336 and then Reek and then Coach. We're going to do a Coach. 336, what it is, what it do.
What's up, man?
What up with you?
Nothing much, man. It's Jim from North Carolina again. I talked one other time, remember?
Yes, sir. What's up, man?
So, I got a pretty unpopular take here, man. Just keeping it 100, man.
That's nothing new on our show, man. Come on now, you know that.
I'm also for bringing Zeke back.
Oh, no.
I'm going to tell you why.
All right. Sell me. Hold on. Don't tell me why. Sell me.
Okay, I'm going to tell you.
All right.
So, for one, if you go back last year, when Zeke was out in that Green Bay game that we lost, there was a big difference on the field in that game, man, when they were trying to run just Tony Pollard.
Hold up. Now I got to stop you. I got to stop you right there, and I'll let you finish.
Go ahead.
Are you talking about the Green Bay game where the Cowboys rushed for like 170-something yards?
Well, the one where Dak Prescott threw like 20 passes in the 4th quarter, more than he did in the whole 3 quarters combined.
Sure, but we've seen that. Wait. We've seen that happen with Ezekiel Elliott on the field. But you're talking about the game where Tony Pollard and Malik Davis had a combined over 150, 60, 70 something yards. Talking about that game.
Probably.
Okay.
I guess.
Right. Continue. Okay, go ahead.
But there was I feel like if we had Zeke in that game, as good as we was running the ball against them, that in that 4th quarter we might could have went to that run a little more. And so, here's my other thing.
Oh, hold on. Before you go to the other thing, they didn't need Zeke to keep running. They just had to what? Keep running. Go ahead.
Maybe so. I don't know. I think they went away from it, if I remember correctly. I just remember thinking
they went away from it because Zeke wasn't out there. Come on, man.
If we had Zeke in this game, yes. I think we wouldn't have passed the ball that much, and we would have won that game.
Okay.
After that game.
What's the second one? What's the second reason? Let me see if you can sell me, because you didn't sell me on the first one.
Okay, the other thing is, I'm not as high on Tony Pollard as a lot of other people are.
Okay, why not?
I feel like Tony Pollard is to me, he's like a hauler, like a home run hit or nothing type running back. I remember watching games where he had like 7 carries for 7 yards because he couldn't make a big play.
Well, why are you giving your running back 7 carries? You can't judge a running back off 7 carries. But continue.
Okay, that's fair. But at the same time, like, he is horrible at pass blocking. So, like, I feel like if he's in the game, you can't, he limits the offense to what you can do because Zeke is not the route runner that Tony Pollard is, but Zeke can catch the ball out of the backfield. I do think he plays a big part in the locker room. And I'm not saying bring him back at $6 to $8 million. I mean, like, if he's willing to take a pay cut because of what he represents in the locker room, he's a tremendous, tremendous blocker. I remember watching a play where they did an all-out blitz, and he took out 2 blitzers by himself. Keep him off of Dak Prescott. Tony Pollard ain't ever doing that. I mean, he's getting blown up, and Dak is getting sacked when he's in the game. So pretty much if he's in the game, I mean, and the yards per average is always skewed because Zeke is getting all the goal line carries, all the short yardage carries. He ain't the back that he was, but he makes a huge difference. And if he's willing to take a pay cut, I would bring him back over Tony. And there's no way Tony Pollard can be the every down running back because he got injured. Look how he got injured in a part-time role. You know what I'm saying?
All right, that's fair. That's your opinion. Appreciate the call, brother.
And
can
I
you got another reason? You got another one? You 0 for 2 trying to sell me. You got another one?
No. This is about something you talked about earlier.
Oh, okay.
I tried to call in.
Okay. Real quick, make it quick.
About the Hall of Fame buys for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I know you said you thought in the early '90s or whatever. I feel like I don't know if it's more of a time frame as it is the players that only played for the Cowboys. Because if you remember, Larry Allen played for the 49ers. DeMarcus Ware played for the Broncos. All of those guys played for other teams, whereas like Darren Woodson never got in because he only played for Dallas.
I didn't think of it that way. I didn't think of that. That's interesting.
I don't know how you feel about that, but
it's interesting.
Okay, man.
Appreciate the call.
Yes, sir.
I'm growing because what I do now is I mute and I get my emotions out so that I'm not interrupting the caller or whatever. But I want to make sure I heard this correctly. Did this man say the Cowboys offense is limited? Unlimited is limited with Tony Pollard on the field.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
I'm not fine. I'm not fine at all. I just don't. What are we watching? One of the best dual threat running backs in the National Football League limits your offense?
Okay, so then, now, when does crack, now, so the cocaine's happening, when does that crack come into play for you?
It's just jokes, brother. It's just jokes.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
It's just jokes. It's just jokes.
Let's be nice. Yeah. Let's be nice. We don't have to go there. I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it. I mean, good Lord.
There's growth. Y'all don't understand the growth that it took on that call. And I'm just having fun, man. Somebody's. Reek, save me. My bad. Go ahead, Reek.
Yeah, what's going on, Sky? What's going on, Cowboy Nation?
What's up, man?
Oh, my God, Cowboy Nation. Y'all buying too much into that stuff that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones been on for years. That's why we ain't been winning nothing. Quit trying to hold on to everybody. Zeke was a rookie running back, came in here and started. Why we can't get another one? What the heck don't y'all understand?
Oh, man, hold on. You know what's crazy about that, bro? I haven't even brought that part up. You're absolutely right. A rookie in Zeke came in here and went off. Are we forgetting he was a rookie?
And a rookie quarterback. What are y'all talking about? Come on, man.
Go ahead.
Come on, man. Yo, man, all I'm going to say is this, man. Y'all got to quit loving on these players too much. This is a business.
When you're not holding up your end of the bargain, getting paid that much money, you have to go. Remember when Zeke was in Cabo, he held out because he wanted money early, and he got his money. So now that Zeke is not producing no more, y'all want to keep him? Hell no. We ain't keeping that dude. I love Zeke. I am happy that what he's done in the past, but, dude, we're not going to pay you for what you've done in the past. We're trying to win now. We need to win now. My thing is this, man. Zeke, okay, cool, he got his 12 touchdowns, but at the goal line, and he was still getting stopped at the goal line. Y'all don't remember that immaculate fake at the goal line in the playoffs with Dak? And he looked like he was going to get stopped if he'd have got the ball. Man, y'all got to get this up, man. My thing is that we got to be ready to let players go, like Tyron Smith and Ezekiel Elliott. We don't want Zeke to take a pay cut because they're going to insult Zeke with the pay cut. We'd rather see him go. And we'd rather go ahead and get younger. And if we get a better piece, let's go get a better piece. We got to quit holding on to players, man. It's just not going to work for us that way. That's not winning football. If you go back into both of these playoff games, the year before last and this year's playoff game with San Francisco, play both. Go watch both of those games to see what Ezekiel Elliott did in both of them. He was selfish in both games.
Well, I won't go
He
far.
didn't want to.
I hear you, Reek. You've attached the selfish label to it. I'm just trying to keep it play. And play wise, he's just not. And we know what people are going to say. Well, he was hurt, and we know what I'm going to say. That's 3 years in a row now. He's hurt. What you think is going to happen with a running back who's become a hurt guy? He's just all of a sudden not going to be a hurt guy. So it's just too much evidence that shows that this makes no sense on needing to bring him back in the current role. Even if you diminish his money, the role would also have to diminish considerably, in my opinion.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, guy, in both of the playoff games, when it was time for Ezekiel Elliott to show up and show out, he didn't. He couldn't do it. He was out here dropping passes. This dude was just talking about, Ezekiel Elliott catch the ball out of the backfield. Sometimes, and then he don't go nowhere a lot of the time. And when Dak was dropping it in the breadbasket at the goal line to him, he dropped the ball. You telling me if the young rookie dude was in, he would have dropped the ball as much as Zeke? Or he would have tried to do his damn thing out there because he got an opportunity. You can't keep holding on to players and studying other players' growth. That Jason Witten bullshit is over. It's time for other people to come. Next thing they're going to say, we want to keep Schultz too. Man, y'all got to move on, man. It's a young man's league. Get some young pieces up in here. And we're going to use –
Take for you.
Hey, man.
All right, in closing, Rick.
But in closing, man, we can't keep loving on our players like this. We gotta love the star. Can't keep loving on these players like this. We want to win the Super Bowl. So if you gotta move on, you gotta move on. All right, y'all. Peace.
All right, man. I've yet to legitimately. I've heard better arguments, or actually, I've helped with these arguments. Of how, remember that show we did about how we could replace Dak, right? Given the circumstances. I've heard better arguments. I helped y'all with that, though. Than I've heard just now. Coach, send us out, man.
Man, Scott, hey, what's going on, brother? I'm going to be quick, man. I appreciate you letting me in, man. I know I can't get you off that ledge with Ezekiel Elliott. You've been on that ledge with Ezekiel Elliott for some years. And I understand where you're coming.
All I've asked for was just give me a reason why. I'll continue. Sell me on why you bring Ezekiel Elliott back in his current role. Why it's a need. Sell me.
I understand. I think the days of a one running back is it's
over. Those
days are gone. But I think we had a very great combination of the two running backs. I will say that on Ezekiel Elliott's year of the less carries he has gotten in his career, the less targets in the passing game he got in his career. In the passing game, he only had 17 targets, 23 targets in the passing game.
Good.
In his career. And he was with a coordinator that wasn't the greatest run coordinator in the world and split carries with a very good running back in Tony Pollard. 875 yards.
See, this is what the Zeke people try to do. This is what the Zeke people try to do.
That's great.
My thing was to take away the production, right? Because I'm trying to make it even easier for y'all. Like, I get it. The production, it declined. I'm saying, yo, listen, let's not even take that into account, right? Take away the production. Watch the player. How can you sell me that the guy who has lost all his burst, the guy who can't break tackles anymore, the guy whose vision has taken a hit, the guy who continues to clearly be hurt at the end of seasons now for 3 years in a row, the guy who is, to be completely honest, not the best back on the team anymore, that guy, tell me how that guy needs to remain on this team.
My judgment of the film is not that.
Your judgment is that he's one of the top running backs in the National Football League still?
I'm not saying he's top running back.
So what is he?
So what is he? Not that bad as you.
Okay, so if he's not a top, okay, so if he's not, what is he? Top what? 15? Like a fifth? Like what is it? 13, 14, 15? 10?
He could be top 15, but I will say this, and I definitely think we need to keep Pollard. I will say this: him and Tony Pollard put you at top 1 or 2 in the running back room in this league.
Because of who?
The combination of the two.
No. Because of who?
No, you can't be because of two. If you talk about combination,
yes, I can. You know why? You know why I can? Because if you give me Tony Pollard and then you go draft me Jahmyr Gibbs, we got a top 5 duo in the league.
What we think Jahmyr Gibbs is going.
Check. Can y'all hear me? I think I might have messed up my audio.
I can hear you.
All right, go ahead.
But I would say this, and we'll get off and go back to my other interesting point that I want you to think about over the weekend. But I will say this. We only person that's in that room in Dallas that needs to know what that they can do with Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard is Mike McCarthy. And that's the person that really, with his offense, or what he feels that he can do with this, with those two running backs, what his thinking is or how they will utilize, that's the only person. I'm quite sure that he's not going to give them less than 70 targets in the passing game like they both combined got in the passing game. And I'm quite sure that's the person that needs to think about that. That's the only person is really, and his thinking of how he best can utilize these guys and what he sees from these guys is the only person that's really prevalent in this decision about how they're going to do the running back.
You're an advocate of giving Ezekiel Elliott a lot of targets in the passing game?
Yeah, because in his career it hasn't been bad. This is the first year he got less than 23 targets, and he's been a back there for made receptions. This is the lowest year in carries as well as targets in the passing game.
Right.
And for a running back with his targets, he averages about 6 yards a carry, 6 yards a catch, and longer 31. I mean, but you never did target him.
Ezekiel
put him in the swing back
is one of the worst pass catching backs that are starters in the National Football League. This ain't 2016.
You only targeted 23 times?
Forget the targets. Just watch him fight the ball. He doesn't make people miss in an open field. He barely even trucks over people anymore. And you want to throw the ball more to him? When I got Tony Pollard, who should be getting 100 targets. I'm judging off of what I'm watching. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, No, I'm not. No, Coach, forget 2022. Go back to 2021. Go back to 2020. Go back to 20. Like, he hasn't been a relevant pass catching threat since like 2017, bro. 2018 maybe. You keep throwing out these numbers. I keep saying, watch it. Like, how you watch a guy fight the ball? Watch a guy that can't make people. Yeah, go ahead, because I'm getting riled up because this is wild.
I can watch it, and I think I know football. I think I can watch it and see.
And see what? That he's he's what? A guy that you got to throw the ball to 70 times? Are you
47 catches in 21, 52, and when the lowest targets he ever got in the year was the year he was suspended 6 games.
Because he shouldn't even be getting those. Like he should not be a part of your throwing aspect to the running back. He shouldn't. Because he's not better than Tony Pollard in doing it. Hell, I'd argue I'd rather throw to Malik Davis.
I'm just saying, man. We can. The only person that's really aspect of this is Mike McCarthy. And let me give you the interesting point. And like I said, I know I can't get you off the wall. It's basically what McCarthy feels that he can do with this running or these running back room. And I don't think he would want to take this thing over and say, okay, I'm just gonna start with new players in this running back room and not what I know. Okay. Next thing. This is this crazy thing about Diggs, and I want you to think about, because this probably wasn't a future show, but I thought of an interesting point. With all this crazy stuff about Diggs, all this groundswell, which is unbelievable, that it's not going to happen by getting Diggs getting his brother in from Buffalo to play with him in Cowboy land. Cowboys, we better be very careful. That was not said to be a thing to get Diggs or his brother Stephon into Dallas. That was a low key.
Are you talking about when he went on BTB's podcast and requested to get his brother?
Right. That's a low key throw out there that says, all right, getting Diggs to here from Buffalo to here is only going to take a trade because he's not a free agent. But if we really, truly, desperately want to play with each other, it's easier for Trayvon to be in Buffalo because he on 1-year contract. If we don't go out here and lock him up now and be right,
I see what you're saying.
If he get the free agency, we have lost.
I see what you're saying. So yeah, all right. You like, look, this is kind of that's actually interesting. A different way to look at it. So Diggs like, all right, now y'all don't sign me. I'm gonna go over there to Buffalo. Okay. Yeah.
If you don't sign him now, if we get to the season, he may not give you it because everybody's gonna remember what he did at 1, 2, 3. And his brother will already be campaigning for him to be in Buffalo. So if we don't go out there now and be correct and get him locked up, if we get to the season, he will be in Buffalo. He won't be in Dallas the next year.
If Diggs is still there, Diggs seems a bit, the other Diggs, his brother Diggs, he seems to be a little pissed off. But again, it could be they just lost in the playoffs. They're a little mad. But hey, that's another way to look at it.
That's where it's going. So Cowboys, listen to the tea leaves because they want to play together, but it'll be an easier transition for him to play at Buffalo than him to get to Dallas.
That's
his
true.
brother get to Dallas.
And they've both come out and said, I want to play with my brother. Yeah.
You better do it now, or you ain't gonna do it because he'll take a tad bit less to play with his brother in Buffalo. Not much less, but he will take a tad bit less.
I think he would. I think he would. I don't think that's an incorrect statement. I think he'd take a little less than go play in like Carolina or something to go play with his brother. Yeah, for sure.
So that's what I want to throw out there. But Scott, as always, great show this week, man. Keep on pushing, man. And we'll see what McCarthy feels about the running back room because it should be ultimately his decision if we give him control.
Hey, Coach, thanks for letting me. I love. See, that's why I love you being my old head. You allow me to be this young, just wild and crazy guy that I am, man. Appreciate you, dog.
All right, brother.
Coach be getting me riled up, man. Get me riled up. Let's get these super chats. More Dempster. What am I like? I'm really starting to think I'm crazy now. Am I watching this wrong? Is this a different back we talking about? I mean, I could see if he was Derrick Henry. He ain't that. All right, here we go.
Super chat.
Get up out of here. Lost in translation. Appreciate you. Dropped $5. Says Zeke has dropped a lot of critical third down passes at key moments. I didn't even think that needed to be explained. Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott in the passing game. Dro the Gooner.
Super chat.
Dropped 2 and said Zeke fandom and loyalty over Hebron. Come on, Dro.
Super chat.
L dropped 1. Appreciate you. He said the Cowboys are riding on the fumes of perception and banking on the funds of nostalgia. Hold up. Do I need to get Vacha here to drop the button? It sound like you spitting some Marcus Hardison. Until we establish a true play well to pay well culture, we'll keep coming up short. Like that.
Super chat.
King Element dropped 1, said, I can't wait for the 2030 year when Zeke is still our RB1 and this fan base is trying to justify him having 1.2 yards per carry. You know, King, I even tried to say, all right, look, I won't even use production against y'all because the production has been not great. Let's use what a lot of people love to use. Put on a tape. Just put the tape on. Take the name off the jersey. Take the number off the jersey. Watch all 3 backs and be like, that guy right there, gotta have him. Heart of our team. Absolutely need to bring him back. They need to get 15 to 20 touches, and we got to give him more passes in the... What? No, sir. John Carter just dropped 1 to help.
Super chat.
Thank you, sir, for the $5 donation. Lamont, who was you
Super chat.
Lamont, who was you talking about? He said, if this man don't stop capping, quote, you liar. I think he is talking about the other caller that we was having fun with. Dro dropped another one.
Super chat.
And said, let's keep it a buck. We have to move on from Tyron and Zeke. They're tying up resources and neither can be relied on for a full season. I think most of that is true. I think most people will combat and say, well, Zeke's going to play through his injuries. And that could be an issue type of thing. I really wish the Cowboys would have said, listen, you're going to need more than 2 games. So let's really see what this... And this was a great time to do it. Malik Davis, Tony Pollard. Let's really see for the next 4 games or 5 games, whatever it is. Let's just rest you for the playoffs. I don't even think Zeke Elliott was some massive need down the stretch of the season. And let's see what we got here with this young guy. It's a win-win. You see what you got in Malik Davis, and you rest up Ezekiel Elliott for the playoffs. But once we got to the playoffs, it's like Zeke was even worse. I digress. Oh, so Rolo said Emmitt's record secure. Did y'all see? This is another thing too. Emmitt Smith is out here capping for the current version of how the Cowboys are operating because of what they did in the 90s. And I don't like it. No, Stargazer. Keeping Zeke doesn't mean that. Oh, man, somebody in the chat must have said that. My bad. Somebody in the chat must have. I'm not saying if you keep Zeke, it means you're tanking. I'm saying if you keep Zeke, I think it's a mismanagement of your roster allocation. Not even just cap. It's just mismanaging your roster. It's unbelievable how this seems to be divisive at that position. I thought we'd be more in sync with this than anything. That position we tripping about? Yeah, I mean. Great stuff today. Great stuff today. To quickly review my 2 cap casualties that if they are to be cut, I would love for the Cowboys to go out and get Byron Jones on a cheap deal and Shaq Mason and just pay the man type of situation. I mean, I'm not saying you break the market or anything, but I think Shaq Mason could be had for a quality contract and he will help improve your offensive line. So those are my 2 guys. If you are listening to this on the run back, drop in the comments after post production or what have you, who you would like the Cowboys to take a look at. I know Keenan Allen's a potential cap cut. You got some other guys, some pass rushers or whatnot. If you got some names, drop them in the chat. Great calls today. The chat was popping as usual. Fired up. Appreciate y'all for dealing with my passion. Look, not much going on today after today's show. So if you happen to be catching this on the run back and you can't really sit through all of the video aspect of it, we will upload the audio on the podcasting platforms. We'll upload on the podcasting platforms. L says, Sky, you should do a player's blind item comparison, like tell the story of what player did over the last 3 seasons and ask us who we think it is. Yeah, the networks do that. I always have fun with those, right? And I see people do it on Twitter too. They'll just blindly put the resume down. They'll say this player, that player. That'd be fun. That'd be something I could look into for sure. And yeah, like L just did, I tell people on Twitter all the time, hit me up if there's any ideas that y'all, any topics or creative things y'all want me to try to look into. Y'all know me, I love to mess around with production, mess around with creative ideas. So I'll try to bring it to the show. Fun one today, man. Betsy, not yet. And it's not even a vacation, but Betsy says, you're going on vacation? I haven't had a vacation in over 2 years. Well, really longer than that. I'm just saying, since I've been with the company, I haven't had one. But this summer I will be. So no vacation until the summer. However, I'm moving not this coming Monday, but the following Monday. That week I'll be out because I'll be moving, and we'll be dealing with the move. We'll be dealing with setting up the studio. The studio will look a little bit different, and I'll have that week off to kind of recharge, and then boom, back in the saddle. So I'll keep y'all posted on that. With that said, I had fun today. I'm gonna press this button though. Y'all be safe this weekend. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. Have fun though. If you got paid, just got paid. Friday night. Shout out to the mods in the building. Running back squad. Appreciate y'all. We out of here. Love you. I'll still be in Dallas. Shout out to the content creators in the building. I see you, Landlord, CFO, Pick 6. Make sure y'all check out Law later. Salute.